Okay, getting this set up so we can go live here on YouTube and on Instagram. So welcome wherever you are watching. I'm excited to share this with you because this is very real and raw. You're going to get to see what I did today to help navigate getting back in the swing of things. For those of you who don't know, over the weekend, my family was all sick. So everybody but me had some combination of a cough and a sore throat and a fever and diarrhea. And it was like a big hullabaloo mess. Right? And I was able to stay like healthy and good and doing well until yesterday. I got sick and I just spent basically the whole day resting and in bed. Today, it's feeling a lot better. Still have a little bit of digestive issues, but like I could do work. Whereas yesterday I had to cancel all my sessions, reschedule them, was not going to be doing anything. But when I came in today to start working, I found myself struggling to get back in the swing of things. I had this like expectation of like, okay, I've got to get back into things. I got to do it. I'm going to do all of this stuff, right? But my capability was still here, right? It wasn't down here where it was yesterday and risen up to here, but it wasn't fully up to this space because I kept trying to push it up to this space. I was getting stuck. I was getting frustrated. I was feeling overwhelmed. I knew I was sitting here just watching my efforts to try and do anything I knew I needed to get done wasn't getting done. And I was just watching the clock pass by and listening to like my kids and my husband having like this wonderful day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all this time. I'm getting nothing done. And it was so frustrating, right? But again, it was because I was meeting this place up here. What I had to do was stop, reset, and start again. Okay. I tried resetting once, it didn't work. I knew I needed a bigger reset this time. So this time I went outside, connected with some friends, got some fresh air, moved my body, right? Before I just went and rested, laid down on my bed, tried venting to my husband. That wasn't enough, right? I needed more of this involved piece. What that did was it allowed me to experience this. When I began to recognize there were certain beliefs that I was holding about my day, about my business, about what needed to be done, about myself, about my purpose, about my work, right? That were not aligning with what was true, right? So I was believing things that weren't matched up with what I knew was possible for myself, or what God, rather, the correct thing I should be saying is what God knew was possible for me today, right? So one of the things I teach is that our emotions are our calibration, they're a connection to God to help us understand when what we believe and think is in alignment with what God says and thinks about us, and when it's out of alignment. Positive emotion lets us know, yes, we're on the right track. Negative emotion lets us know, something's out of whack. We need to get things back in alignment. So I started identifying some of those beliefs and realizing like, oh, wait, I lost 3 followers today. 1, 3 is not a big number. 2, I'm not all about the numbers. Numbers come second. 3, I'm all about calling in the people who need to be here. 4, I have tons of people who are here, ready to show up, seeing what I need, having what is here. I'm going to be focusing on speaking and helping to them. I have no idea why those people decided not to follow. Maybe they were people who were following me like 3 years ago and just decided to clean out their Instagram account, right? Regardless, that belief of using that external thing that happened to determine my success, my ability to do my work, whether I was providing value and fulfilling my purpose, right? Dumb thing. That belief was out of alignment, right? Once I readjusted some of my beliefs, then I got back into a good space. And the second piece that I needed to do then was lean into my ability to trust. Trust that if I could stay in this space of belief, that inevitably the things I wanted would happen. Okay. So here's another way of thinking about it. We're going to take an energetics perspective here for a sec. Okay. Anytime you feel frustration, it is because the energy is not there. And what you are trying to do is efforting through this wall, right? You have this like energetic maximum potential for that topic, experience, whatever it is, right? and you're running up against it. Okay. When you feel overwhelmed, the energy is there, but you're not fully utilizing it, right? You're kind of hanging out here. And that's where it's like, oh my gosh, there's so many things, right? So what we want to do is learn how to be in those two different spaces better. Here's what I mean by that. Okay. Here's that first example, right? This is your current maximum energy potential, right? All of us are eternal divine beings. So that means our ultimate maximum energy potential is infinite. But for the current present moment, it's at a certain set point, right? And if you come rubbing up against that set point, you're going to start feeling frustration. It's going to feel like you have to push really hard and work really hard in order to accomplish the things that you want to get done. This is where most of the world operates from. We think, I just need to push through this wall in order for me to get the things done that I want to get done, to make things happen, right? It's not the case. In this case, you first need to raise the energy potential, then take action, which is what this looks like, right? When we are overwhelmed, we've done the work to raise the maximum energy potential, but now we're not fully utilizing it, right? That's where we see all this space and we're like, there's so many things I have to do and get done and I can't get them all done, right? And we can cycle back and forth between the frustration and the overwhelm. That's what I was doing today. I found myself cycling between these two experiences. And the main piece of that was the frustration was letting me know about where I lacked belief, right? And that I needed to shift my belief. That's how we raise our energy potential here, the maximum, is by reassessing our beliefs. Okay? Once I did that, all of a sudden I had this energy potential available and it was like, oh, great, let's go do this, right? But here's the thing, my new max energy potential was still up here, but my present moment energy potential was variable, right? And this had to do with some of those circumstances around like, how was I physically feeling? And I'm still adjusting to getting back into work. And what I kept believing was that I should be filling this all the way to the top, right? That was me using my abilities the best. I was not there yet. I was in bed yesterday, sick as a dog, sicker than I have been in a long, long time, right? To have the expectation that I was going to be able to bounce right back into work today was a misaligned belief, right? And that's why I experienced a whole bunch of frustration. And once I realized, oh yeah, I've done the work, that this is how much work I know I can get done in a day. I have it set up, I've experienced it, I know that this is possible. But today, in this present moment, this is what is possible, right? And so instead of having my expectation be up here, I adjusted my expectation to be here. And then I was able to fill this in and it was like, oh, okay, I got this, I can do this. And guess what happened? The productivity that I got done in a half hour of this time was like 10 times more than what I got done in 3 hours of this space, right? Because the energy potential was there. My beliefs were aligned. My expectation was in the proper space. And so I had this perfect space, the energy, the ability, the trust, and the belief for things to get accomplished, right? That's the whole goal, right? Ultimately, when we reach a new set point, what's happening is our belief, our energetic set point, our now moment set point, and our ability to trust are all matching up to this space. And that's where it's like, this is a piece of cake. I can do this all day. That's when it becomes a habit, right? Up until that point, making something to become a habit is really just about increasing this maximum potential, slowly practicing increasing our ability to fill it, right? And we do that through what we believe and what we trust. And that, my friends, is the difference between the energy clash and the rise, okay? So if we take a second, we look at this image here, right? Divine departure starts out here in this first quadrant. The second quadrant is the energy clash. And see how the energy is now split between the masculine and feminine? Okay. That split still occurs over here. And so it's really easy to think nothing has changed, that you're still in the energy clash experience, but you're not. The thing you can tell is because when you were in this energy clash phase and you're getting close to that tipping point here, things feel like you're starting to get the hang of it. And it's like, okay, maybe if we just keep doing this, like it will keep getting better, right? And then all of a sudden there comes a point where it's like, I'm doing the same thing, but it's not working anymore, right? That is often a sign here that you're now entering the rise, or what I call the calibration phase, right? Because you still have this split in energy, which gives the appearance of the energy clash. However, now you've inverted the placement of the energies. And so what was working over here is no longer going to be working. You got to learn something new over here in order to work. Okay? That is what this is all about. The energy clash is giving us the opportunity to see, where do I have beliefs that are limiting? Where can I learn to start building those up, right? Throughout the energy clash, we want to be expanding this box. Okay? Then when we get over here to the rise, we have this expanded box, and now we're practicing learning how to fill it, how to act from this place, right? And that's the really cool part, is you don't have to actually hold this box, right? That's one of the misunderstandings, is feeling like, I have to hold this, I've got to keep it here, right? The person who's in charge of the box is God, which is why the first step is just learning to believe, because God already knows what all these different levels are for you, already knows all the truth that is there, all the possibility for your life, all of the things that are correct and right and available for you, right? That box is here. You just got to learn to see it, to believe that it exists. Once that box exists, then you got to start practicing trusting that I can show up living my life in this space, and that inevitably I will experience this endpoint here. Now, when we do what I describe as a pimple, which, let me get another chart, looks like this. This is when we fail to step up into the rise, and instead we enter back into the energy clash stage. If we stay there too long, it leads us back into enmeshment. Okay? And the way that looks over here is, instead of filling in this space, we come back over here down into this lower space. Okay? And what that can actually help us do is push this box up even more, which becomes really cool, but at the same time, really frustrating, because if we're going back and forth between that, this is why a pimple is not always a bad thing, right? Because it can help us find that clarity to expand our box even more. But if we keep expanding and expanding our box, so it's filling up and up and up and up, but we're never coming over here and really practicing staying in this risen state, actually embodying all of this, then we don't learn how to fill it, right? And so then our physical experience does not match our desires and our belief. And we have learned, basically, we've conditioned ourselves to think, oh, you don't get everything you want, because we don't know how to do the rise. We don't know how to fill in our box potential that is here waiting for us, right? But it's there. We just got to be willing to do the calibration and pull ourselves up and up and up. Okay? That is what I teach you how to do, my friend. And that is how you can go from wasting 4 hours of your day because you've been sick and you thought that you were going to be all productive and get things done and enjoy it, feeling like you're a terrible failure. Why did you ever want to start this business? You're not helping anybody. You're never going to make any more money. Why did you have all of these dreams? To 3 hours later, and part of that time was just because I was doing other stuff, but there's a point and purpose for that. But intentionally taking some of that time, which was maybe an hour, and getting back into the space of like, oh yeah, right. I know who I am. I know why I'm doing this work. I know why it matters. I know where I want to go. and getting more done in that half hour than I had in the 3 hours before. Okay. That's what I want to teach you. It's not about not having the emotions. It's not about going through not ever having these life experiences. It's about being able to measure, where is my box? How well am I filling it? Do I need to raise my box? Right? How do I navigate? What am I believing and what am I trusting? So that any given moment you can tap in, learn to read yourself and go, oh, hey, my emotions are telling me this thing. I'm not trusting. I'm not believing. What can I do to adjust that so that I can believe and so that I can trust, so I can raise my box and fill it? And when our box is raised and filled and we're operating from that space, that's what I call alignment, right? And that's the most beautiful place to be living our life. That's where we feel the most abundant and love and joy, right? To me, that is what Earth is all about, is learning how to fill our box or raise our box and fill it, right? That's what the Risen Feminine program is all about, teaching you what to do. In that first month, we're going to be going over some of this nomenclature. We're going to be going over the different steps so that you'll know them inside and out, backwards and forwards, right? In that second month, we're going to be learning how to do this calibration process, how to recognize our beliefs and our lack of trust or our ability to trust, right? Where are they off? How do we find that alignment again? And then the third month, we're going to be practicing it, right? We're going to be doing that work so that you just don't have this empty box of potential forever there. Instead, you get to be in a space where you feel safe and supported to be able to know, what does it look like to start filling this? Applications are up on my website. I have a couple spots left. So if you're still interested in joining, it's not too late. There are a few of you that I know still need to be in this program. So come fill out that application. After you fill it out, you should receive an email from me letting you know whether you got approved or not. And then we'll book a call about getting you all enrolled into the program, what finances and costs and all of that looks like. The main purpose of the application is twofold. One, for me to get an idea of where you're at, what you're looking for, and what would most benefit you. I don't want to waste anybody's time, energy, or money, right? I only want people doing this who I feel like they're actually going to get something out of it. So that's the first piece. The second piece, though, is for you to get an idea of where you are and what you want, and to get a better feel of, is this something that will help you? Okay. So that's the first full purpose of it, is helping each of us know what's going to be the best fit for you. And then when I look over your application, that's where I'm going to come and say, hey, it's a match on my side. Let's have a call, see if it's a match on your side. And then if it is, we join the program. Okay? A couple of comments in here. So trust ourselves and trust others. Yes, absolutely. So that is a twofold piece, because this model here, the blue represents feminine, the gold represents masculine. And anytime I talk about masculine and feminine, I'm referring to types of energies, which can just be thought of in the most basic sense as two types of characteristics or traits, right? So this could be the relationship with ourselves and how we have masculine and feminine energy within us. It could be a relationship between us and another person. It could be a relationship between us and a system, right? Or an organization. So this same pattern plays out in all of those pieces. So depending upon which relationship model we're looking at, will let us know, what am I believing? What am I trusting in terms of myself, in terms of others, and in terms of the system or organization that I'm in. So this is one of the powerful tools that I help people navigate, especially if they are in the middle of a faith journey, faith crisis. We look at, what is it that I'm believing? What is it that I'm trusting? How is that relationship shifting, right? Usually that is like the ultimate definition of the faith crisis, right? Is something has changed there in that relationship. I don't believe or I don't trust in the same way that I once did, and I don't know how to navigate that adjustment. This is your roadmap that teaches you how to navigate that adjustment. Okay. Similarly, I also work with people where it's like affecting their relationship and their marriage, right? New beliefs causes changes in the trust, right? We're not quite sure, where is this going? Are we going to stay in the same place? Are you still this person I fell in love with? Are you going to go off the rails, right? That trust often isn't there when there's new beliefs that are coming up. So how can we support both individuals in that relationship so that you can believe and trust and flow through it? Here's your roadmap for how to do it. Okay. Same thing with ourselves, right? What do you believe? What do you trust that you're capable of, that you can do, is available in your life, is a possibility, right? All of those other relationships with systems, relationships with other people, come back to the foundation of our relationship with ourselves. Because if we don't first believe that, it's possible for me to have a positive relationship with my spouse while I am navigating this faith transition, you're not going to trust that. You're not going to believe that. You're not going to be able to bring that into the relationship with your spouse. Same thing with anything else that matters to you in your life. Moving, getting a new job, starting your own business, whatever the thing is, if you want to be able to trust yourself and believe in yourself, here's your roadmap for how to do that, right? I don't mean to be redundant, but that's the cool piece about this, right? This is a model. It's something that is applicable to lots of different scenarios. You just plug in the scenario and it says, here's the possibilities of what you can expect. Here's how you can learn to navigate it. That's why I want to teach you how to read this, how to identify, okay, which phase am I in? What's going on here? What do I need to do next? How do I navigate through this? What is it telling me? What adjustments do I need to make in my life, right? It's like learning how to operate your GPS, but on a whole new scale, because it's not just a GPS that you like input in and go. We're also making sure you know how to drive the car, right? And how to fill up the gas and make sure that it's charged, and you know how to read directions on the road, right? Just being handed a GPS and said, here you go, now you can do it, isn't much good if you don't know how to apply it and you don't have all the other support and resources you need, right? Here's the GPS. I could print this out and hand it to you and it would be a meaningless piece of paper. That's the purpose of the program. And it's different from other courses or working with a coach who's just there for you personally, because it's not just information, right? There's a lot of programs or courses out there where they're walking you through, here's the thing you want, here's the end result. I'm going to teach you this information and the things you need to do in order to accomplish that, right? Or here's the information that you're going to learn by doing this course, right? There are other programs that are like, here's the experience that you're going to be getting out of it. But they're very rarely actually taking you on a full-fledged journey, right? They're usually looking at one of the different pieces here, right? They're focused on just the divine departure or just the energy clash, which another way to describe the energy clash is building a relationship with the divine feminine, right? Because you'll notice the divine feminine is just barely waking up. We have like, oh, this awareness that the divine feminine exists. And then here it's like, oh, I'm learning so much and it's so amazing, right? A lot of the resources out there, this is information based, right? Just getting you awareness about something. This is building that knowledge foundation. But then here's that practical application. And some people can give you information or tell you some different ways to do that, but rarely do they put the full picture in context and say, here's each of the different stages. Here's how you navigate through them. Here's how you learn to trust yourself. And rarely do they teach you a tool that literally you can apply to any area of your life, any future problem that you're having for yourself, with your kids, with your best friend, with your roommate, with your job. Like, again, pick a topic. This is like the universal translator of change, of growth, of challenge, of problems, solutions. So wonderful questions in there. If you are interested, again, there's the link in my bio to apply. If you have already applied and you haven't heard back from me, or we've chatted at one point and you just wanted to check back in, schedule a call to talk with me. And we'll make sure that we get you fully enrolled, or at least discuss what enrollment looks like. Because I really want to do everything that I can to help those people who feel that strong pull within them to be able to do this program. Okay? In the meantime, I'm going to go take care of Cutie Boy here, and I hope the rest of you have a wonderful evening. Okay? All right, YouTube, you always get a second more here while I finished up on Instagram. We're all done. Thanks.